Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're watching me from. This is Sam Ongoro. Kindly subscribe, share, and like my YouTube channel. My YouTube name is Sam Ongoro. Now, today I want to talk about something that is so disturbing. You know, as human beings, especially today, I want to address women. Women, there are some things we do to ourselves. There are some things we do to ourselves. And then when something happens, we're here to complain and blame others. Especially those who are in a relationship, those who are married. I want to address women who are married and those who are in a serious relationship. Not addressing those chokers, one night stand, who have a sexual relationship. There are people who have what is we call sexual relationship, nothing attached to it. Just sex, that's it. Those are not the people I'm addressing. I'm addressing those who are in a serious relationship, engaged, or in marriage. Now, there are some things that you women do, and when things start happening, you will not accept responsibility, you will not accept ownership, but blame other people, blame other external forces. Now, if you're in a serious relationship, or you're in marriage, you only need 4 things to make your marriage work. And I know a lot of you will tell me you need love. Love is one of the ingredients that will make your marriage thrive or work. But love alone cannot sustain, cannot hold a marriage or a relationship. You need some of you will tell me, oh, you know what? Sex is key. Hiyo ndio ilinitoa kwetu. Si chakula ilinitoa, sio kitanda. Hata kwetu nilikuwa na kitanda mzuri kuliko hii ninalalia kwa bwana yako. I don't deny, ninakubali. It's okay. But do you think sex can hold a marriage? Can sex keep a marriage together? I don't know, you tell me. Because if sex ingeweka can hold a marriage, then all prostitutes will be married. You need a few things to make your marriage work, which most women have ignored completely because we are in a digital era. We are in a 21st century where things are moving very fast, where technology is taking over, and where we ignored the best ingredients of marriage, of a relationship. Let me just, before I start mentioning things that the women do, and when things start happening, they start blaming others, let me tell you the 4 things that you need to make your marriage work. Sex is part of it, love is part of it, but not love alone and sex cannot hold a marriage. If you need your marriage to last and survive in marriage, it takes work. It is work. You need to work on your marriage on a daily basis. You need to work on your relationship on a daily basis. Number 1, you need commitment. You need to be committed to the core, to your relationship. You need to be committed. In short, if you are committed, your relationship should be number 1. If you are committed to your relationship, should be number 1 and should be key in everything that you do. Should be a key that opens your day and closes your day. If you want your relationship to work or your marriage, you need to be what? Committed. Number 2, you need wisdom. Ladies and gentlemen, you need wisdom for your marriage to thrive, or for your marriage to be successful, or to enjoy your marriage or your relationship. You need wisdom. And wisdom only comes from who? From the Most High God. The fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. The fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. Whether, my sister, you wake up in the morning, your husband is sleeping, you wake up at 3 in the morning, kneel near the bed and start playing so loudly, playing for your husband, asking God and telling God how your husband can hear you is not asleep. That will not change things. You need wisdom. Number 3, you need understanding. Do you understand what being in a relationship means? Do you understand what it entails to be married? A lot of women prepare so much for the wedding and they forget to prepare for marriage. A wedding is just a one-day event. Marriage is a long-term thing. It's a lifetime thing. So don't you think you need to prepare more for marriage than a one-day event? A wedding comes once and is gone. Marriage is what you live with the rest of your life. So instead of you ladies preparing so much for the wedding, that I want my wedding to be a come and see, you put so much time and energy into the wedding. And I'm not saying there's something wrong with that. But please, you prepare so much for the wedding and you forget to prepare for marriage. So you need the understanding what you're getting into before you get there. You need to understand what marriage is and what it involves and what it takes to remain there or to be kept there, what it entails. So you need to prepare and understand what marriage is before you enter. And then even after you enter, you need to learn every day and do something. Marriage, even if you understand it, you don't understand it and stop there. It will help you, it will enable you to know what to do in a marriage to sustain it or to keep it or to live there or to enjoy your marriage. So understand what marriage is before you enter. Number 4, you need knowledge. Are you knowledgeable about marriage? Are you knowledgeable? Are you knowledgeable about marriage? A lot of people think marriage is to jump in, start to have a lot of sex. That's where sex is, you have sex in the morning, breakfast, snack, wherever. That's what we believe. Marriage, they believe marriage is all about sex. You need knowledge about marriage. I've told you 4 things: wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and commitment. Then when you get all these 4 things together, the rest will fall into place without even struggling to achieve it. It will fall into place, ladies and gentlemen. Now, have you ever had women complain? Now let me go back to things that I told you wanawake wanafanyanga, wanajifanyia wao wenyewe, wanachirethea, then ikifanyika badala yao of owning ownership, they start blaming external forces. You hear a woman saying, "Oh, bwana yangu ni maraya sana." Sana kuuliza, my sister, huyu mwanamume ni wewe ulimupenda. You got married. Why are you calling him a prostitute? And if so, when did he start being a prostitute? When you met him, was he a prostitute and you loved him? Even went to an extent of marrying him. Okay, what changed? Ni nini ilifanyika huyu mwanaume akaanza kuwa maraya? What changed? That's what I need to understand. Before you start calling your husband a prostitute, ask yourself a question. When did this man start being a prostitute? What drove him to do what he's doing? And why is he not into me so much, instead he's into other women? Why? Maybe it's something that you are doing, my sister. It's something that you've done to him. Men have ego. How do you treat your husband when he gets home? How is your conjugal relationship with your husband? How is your sex life with your husband, with your partner? Let me ask you, my sister, a question. Are you one of those women, Your bwana yake anakuja nyumbani anakugusa anakutaka, unamwambia you have a headache. Stop it, I have a headache. Kesho akikugusa unamwambia please, I'm not in a mood. The next day akikugusa unamwambia I am so tired, you don't know what it takes to be a housewife. I am so tired that I have no energy left. The next day he touches you, you start saying, oh, you know what? I am in terrible pain. Or the entire body of mine is aching, so please don't tell. Then the next day you tell him, oh, I'm in my periods because the month is over, now I'm in my periods. Then the cycle repeats. My sister, what do you want that guy to do? Unataka afanye nini? I know many of you will tell me, you know what? Mimi niko there, I'm there. My husband too, anataka. Akitaka, I am there. I am available. Words can lie, but actions will speak louder than words. If what you're saying is the truth, and it's something I cannot verify nor prove, only your husband can. My sister, unanyima bwana yako, na makanisa hapa nje imefunguliwa mingi, inatafuta wasirika, inatafuta waumini. There's so many churches that have been opened out here. Some of them are built with the modern technology. Kanisa zingine zimechengwa vizuri sana, hata kuliko your local church. Na wewe unanyima bwana yako, alikuwa akakuweka kwa nyumba, umupei conjugal rights, akienda nje ajisort, unaanza kulalamika. You start complaining about external forces. Yani unataka mwanaume akue a beggar of sex, and yet you are the wife, or you are the girlfriend. And I know for sure there are some women who use sex as a tool of punishing or administering discipline to a fiancé or to a husband. A lot of women use that tool to punish their husbands. My sister, in a process of punishing your husband or your fiancé, he'll get another door of opportunity will open up. And when that door opens up, the guy enters the church, and then you come here, you start complaining, oh, my husband ni maraya tu. Alianza kuwa maraya lini na ni kwa nini? Na wewe ndio chanzo ya shida zako. Unless you take fully responsibility, my sister, no one else will rescue the situation but you. You know how you treat him. You know when. Chukua, take few steps back, rudi nyuma. Utafute njia mahali ulipotelea, uulize kufika hapa mpaka hapa tulikuwa sawa. So hii bwana yangu alipotezea mwelekeo wapi? Alipotezea mwelekeo wapi? Then utafute njia, usike njia, na bwana yako atarudi hapo. And in many times it's not your husband necessarily that needs to change. Change yourself, my sister. You can't change everyone. But it's very easy to change yourself. So if you change yourself, your husband will come back to you. So the best thing here is to change yourself first. Then ninasikia wanawake wengine wanasema, oh, my husband is just there. My husband, I don't feel protection from my husband. My husband is not protective of me. My sister, how can a man protect something he has no authority over? How can a man protect something that he has no authority over? Something that he has no control over? Something that he is not in charge of? Are you a submissive wife to your husband? Are you fully submissive to your husband? And your husband will fail to protect you? I doubt it. Now you talk to your husband anyhow. You don't respect him. You don't accord him the respect that he deserves as the head of the family. And then you turn around, you want him to protect you. Men can only protect what is under his authority, under his control. Something that he is in charge of, then he can control it. He can protect it. But so long as you are not submissive to your husband, his authority, then I don't see how your husband can protect you, my sister. I don't see how. Because in any case, you are above him. How can you control something that is above you? How can you protect something that's above you? Something that you can't control. You are not under full control of your husband. You are not. You are not submissive to your husband's authority. So then how will he protect you, my sister? You know, these things there's some women who are so arrogant to their husbands. Rude. You talk to your husband like you're talking to a 2-year-old baby. And yet he's the head of the family. I don't say that, I'm not here to say that or justify anything, but men don't make mistakes. They do, but the way you talk to your boss at work, it's not the same way you talk to your husband. Imagine if your boss wrongs you no matter how many times. There's a way you talk to him or her. But is it the same way you talk to your husband? No. Some women are so submissive, total submissive at work. But when they come home, at church, they are. But when they come home to their husbands, they are arrogant as they come. And then you turn around and say, my husband is a prostitute. My husband cannot protect me. No. Be submissive and treat your husband as the head of the family. Treat him as such. And your husband will protect you. You feel protected. But you cannot protect something that is beyond you. Then wanawake, punguzeni midomo. Muko na midomo mingi sana. Mungu aliwapea midomo. Na hiyo midomo yenu mnaitumia vibaya. You use your mouth wrongly. And I hear people, other women say, oh, you know what? There is some people, my enemies are the ones that is stopping me from enjoying my marriage. There is no enemy. It is your mouth that is stopping you from enjoying your relationship. It is your mouth. Punguza mdomo. Wanawake mko na midomo. Bwanaka anakuuliza kitu kidogo. Hey, sasa hii nyumba iko chafu hivi, angalia hii fumbi kila mahali. Na honestly you've been here all day. Kwani unaniuliza mimi ni house girl? Kwani unaniona aje? Yaani unaona nilikuwa nimekaa, ulikuwa yani lala, unaona yani maneno inakuja 1 million in a second. Do you expect that man akuulize hiyo the same question tomorrow? Ataona uchafu, na kama ni mwanaume anapenda kuwa smart, apendi uchafu, atajipanga. Mwanaume anakuuliza niliacha zile viatu huko nyuma. Hapo kwa mlango, honestly. Yaani uwezo watu uipanguze, unaomba nikupanguzia aje? Kwani wewe hauna mikono? Kwani mwanaume wewe unaniona aje? Hauna mikono? Yaani unaenda kazi, unarudi, ukuje, nikupanguzie. Si uko na mikono? Si hata unaweza panguza hiyo viatu. Ladies, use your mouth constructively. Otherwise, you can use that mouth to destroy your relationship, your marriage, and your family. Your husband is the head of the family. Hata kama akikuuliza mwambie, my husband, I'm so sorry, sikupanguza hizo viatu, lakini listen. Before uoge umalize utapata nimepanguza hizo viatu. That man will feel appreciated and loved. Unaongeleza mwanaume ameenda na viatu na ameenda kutafutia familia na akarudi akaziaje hapa amerudi na maybe akona 2 pairs. Na wewe ulikuwa kwa nyumba siku mzima, TikTok, WhatsApp, Facebook, you know, unacheka peke yako hapo tu. Social media. Mpaka unasahau majukumu yako kuwa a wife. Na mdomo, atatoa. My sister. Utapata mwana si wako. You will start blaming everybody else but you. And guess what? Everything that goes in your life, it stops with no one but you. You don't want to stop it. So if you are in a relationship is a work in progress. Work on it. Work on it. Work on how. Improve on how you talk to your husband. Is the head of the family, is your head, is your authority. So submit to him and you'll enjoy your marriage. Stop blaming everybody. Alafu wanawake na wengine, punguzeni ujuaji hawa. Yaani unapata mwanaume anasema, oh, you know, my boss, my colleagues are coming from UK to visit me this weekend. sijui nitanunua, sijui tuwanunulie nini waenjoy. Wewe ndio na mdomo yako unaingia unasema najua wine mzuri, hii wine tukinunua, hii ukikunywa, there is ingine nimesikia inaitwa panty remover, hii ukikunywa hii pombe fulani hii utalewa sana, hii uleta tuwachanganyishie hii, ukichanganya hizi pombe na hizi. Yaani wewe unachuanga vitu sote. Halafu wakikaa tuwapeleka kwa club, unajua the best clubs in Nairobi. Wewe wako na ngoma kali, where who comes, wewe ndio unajua so club sote hapa Nairobi. Yaani you know the joints sote. Wewe ndio unafungua mdomo yako haraka uchwachi. Na ni bwana yako amesema, baada ya kusikiza bwana yako hata alete opinion, ayafungue mjadala ndio mdiscuss. Wewe umemwaga yote, wewe ndio umechoa. Bwana yako ameenda kilomita moja, wewe umeenda 200 kilometers. Kwa mwanaume anaota anajiuliza, huyu mwanamke nilioa alikuwa anafanya kwa club ama wanawake? Hata kama umesoma haji, hata kama umeshinda bwana yako kimasomo, submit to your husband, so told it. Submit. Take instructions and direction from your husband. He is the head of the family. And if some instructions are not working out with you, find a way of talking to your husband na mulegeze. Umuongeleze tu pole pole kwa. You know, women are known to use sweet words. Use your words and sweet words to mold your husband to be who you want him to be. Na ndio naona watu wengine wanasema hapa fulani amekaliwa. Hakuna mwanaume amekaliwa. And Natalie told me, you know, men say they want peace. But men, what they call peace is they cheat and don't ask them. My sister, why did your husband start cheating? Why? Ask yourself a question. Why did he start cheating? And yet, uko na kila kitu the right place. Kama ila anaenda kutafuta huko. Kwa nini alianza kucheat? When and how and why? Ukipata, that's why nikwambia some things that we need to ask. We need to ask questions. Not asking your husband, ask ourselves questions. Not your husband. Then, the answers are there. Don't look too far. Don't go too far. The problem is in your house. And you might be the problem. Or the cause of the problem. And to solve it, you need to correct it, change it, and adjust. So, punguza ujuaji yako na panganga na midomo mingi. Mwanaume abeni kuongeleshwa kama 2-year-old. Unaongelesha bwana yako kama you're talking to a 2-year-old. Either your younger brother, your younger sister, you don't talk to them in such a manner. The way you talk to your husband. Your voice is at the top of your lung. Talking. How your husband is useless. How this guy appreciates nothing. When did he not start appreciating? Any human being, when you do something good to them, they tend to appreciate. They tend to appreciate. My sister, have you ever asked yourself a question? Mwanaume anaambia a wife, anakuambia bibi yako vizuri, prepare breakfast for me. Anaenda kuoga. Akitoka kuoga, bado mwanamke ako kwa blanketi. Mpaka mwanaume anachoka, anamaliza kufanya, anakuja, anajitengenezea breakfast. Anakula, anamaliza. Akiingia kwa bedroom kuchukua jaketi yake, anaambia bibi yake, honey, I'm leaving for work. Alafu hata mwanamke ajipungu atake kutoka ndani ya blanketi. Anamwambia, wewe enda tu. Enda tunajua lazima upitie kwa mara yako ndio uende kazini. Na mwanaume amekuja kuambia bibi yake, ninaenda, amwambie bye. But the response, lao unasikia anambia, najua enda tu. Najua utapitia kwa mara yako kwanza. Anyway, hata viatu zako ziko hapo chini, uone hiyo, kwa hiyo kiti kwa kona hapo chini ndio nilipanguza nikaweka hapo. Utaki kuchufungua kwa blanketi, uangalie bwana yako, umwambie my husband, have a lovely day. Then mambo mengine uongee baadaye. Wewe mwanaume, ile mambo inatoka kwa mdomo wangu asubuhi, najua unatoka unapitia kwa mara yako. My sister, don't you think you are pushing that guy kwa hiyo mara yake unamwambia? Hata kama hakuwa na idea, umempatia, you are instilling ideas in his mind. As he goes to work, is he contemplating maneno, keeps on ringing in his mind. Na akienda apate hiyo maraya, then you start complaining. Wanaume wako na kingly attitude. Men have kingly chins. Men need to be treated like kings. Wanaume ni wa kuhudumiwa na mabibi zao. You can't sit comfortably and pretty and say, because he married me, now I'm here, I can't cook for breakfast, I'm here to stay. Then you want to enjoy your marriage. It can't work, my sister. You can blame everybody else, but you are the cause of your problems. Don't look no further. Look, search in you, and you'll find the answers. Bwanaka anakuambia umpike breakfast, aende kutafutia familia, uwezi. Na hata unaweza amuka umpikie breakfast na urudi kulala, which is fine, but you don't. Uko kwa kitanda. You don't want to lose usingizi. Then akipita kwa ule mwanamke umemwambia maraya, apata ameamuka yeye, hata amempikia breakfast, hata hajaomba, hajamwambia, amepata amempikia. Men need to be served. You need to serve your husband. We have left everything to house managers. They're the ones who cook and serve our husbands. Yaani unapata mwanamke hata bed sheet sile wameradia, wamefanya mambo yao na bwana yake, wamepaka hapo nini, lipsticks nini, whatever, inaoshwa na house manager. Yaani mwanamke hata hawezi osha bed sheet. Na wanawake wakiongea na unasimama unasema you are a woman. Alafu mwanamke unaona bwana yake anakucha sapa hujampikia. Huko hapa anakuuliza niko na njaa. Namwambia acha nimalize, kuna movie hapa ni soap opera hapa nilikuwa nina watch. Haichaisha wacha ishi. Mwanaume ako na njaa chakula anything since ile breakfast alikunywa. So mwanaume anakasika anaingia jikoni anapika. Na wewe mwanamke ako na mdomo anaanza kuambia na wengine, "Oh, imagine my husband has no problem. My husband, imagine he comes, he can cook. He has no problem. My husband is so digital." Wanangu ana shida. Wanangu akikuja nyumbani hata nisipompikia, hatapika tunatakula. Na hata anapika tunakula. My husband ana shida. Hata breakfast, imagine my husband anajipikia and he does not complain. You are waiting for him to complain. Sasa akicomplain, what will you do different than what you are doing now? Yes, if he complains, what will you do different than what you are doing now? Dada zangu, yoyote mnajiletea nini? Treat your husband as the head, as the king. And my sister, that guy, there's no limit that he will put. There will be no boundaries when it comes to enjoying your marriage or your relationship. Believe me. Another lady told me, I can only be submissive to a guy who is mine and mine alone. That is true, I don't deny. But why did he come to you and you accepted him knowing he had someone? And if that is the case, you really wanted this relationship. Why can't you be different than what he has? Because he left it and he came to you. How can you move him from a boyfriend to husband? If he's dating someone who is a chuck, who is not doing what he's supposed to do, then he came to thinking that you are better than the world. Then you treat him like trash. My sister, when will you switch him from boyfriend to husband? Utaona watu wakiolewa ukisimama hapo. Believe me, you my sister. So some of these things we do it upon ourselves. We bring it upon ourselves. Then we start complaining and blaming everybody else. My sisters, you cannot compete with your husband. There is no way a man and a woman can compete. You are partners, and partners work together until you start working together. My sister, if you start competing with your husband, you cannot win. Men will always be men. Na mwanaume eti ameanya na wewe unaenda kuanya. Two wrongs don't make things right. My sister, eti bwana yako anaanya na wewe lazima uanye. You revenge. You want to pay him back. Some of them go to an extent of sleeping with their best friends to hurt them. And you are in that marriage, na hujatoka. Na hujatoka, na huko kwa hiyo ndo, na hujatoka. My sister, uone vile unajiletea shida peke yako. Kama bwana yako anaanya, there's a way unaweza ongea na bwana yako vizuri na umrudisha home. Ukiongeza na maombi. God can change people. You need to change yourself, start treating him better. Na mwanaume atakuwa wako. Atarudi nyumbani. Kuna wanawake wanapigia wanaume midomo mpaka mwanaume anatoka kwa kitanda kwa room yake anaenda kulala na watoto. Watoto wanamuuliza daddy, what has happened? Why are you here? Anasema hey, don't talk. Ni usiku ralini. Yaani unataka kuambia watoto wasikuulize what has happened. Unawaambia ralini. Uone hao watoto wameelewa that you are where you are not supposed to be. Mwanaume. Yaani mwanaume anatoka kwa bedroom yako, unakuja kufinyana na watoto. Si hata basi ukuje ulale kwa living room na make sure uamuka asubuhi before watoto waamuka wakupate hapo. Wacha kusumbua watoto. Wacha, you know, what message are you sending to your children? Na wengine wameama kutoka their bedrooms wanalala na watoto. What message are you sending? What signal are you sending to your children? What are you teaching your children about marriage? Kids learn more from how we live than what we tell them not to do or do. Yani unahama kutoka, no matter what, usitoke kwa room yako. Because the moment umetoka kwa ile kitanda, umeenda kulala na watoto, you are giving the devil a chance to bed with your wife or your husband. You are giving a devil a chance to bed with your husband or your wife. So never ever leave your bedroom. Find a way to solve your issues there. And kuna wanawake wako na tabia ingine wanaona they need a delegation of elders to come and talk to the husband. And yet they are the problem. Unaenda the worst mistake you can ever make in your relationship. Go call the delegation of elders and pastors, or call the chief and these other respected elders in the village to come and talk to your husband. You've killed everything. Men have ego. West, you cannot spill your husband's weaknesses. Uambie kila mtu na you expect that marriage to continue. It will not. When you came together, it was two of you. What is this that you cannot solve the two of you amicably? Ilifika aje hapo? Unajua ni kufagia vitu under the carpet. Sweeping things under the carpet. With the time, itakuwa mulima na hamutaonana and you cannot even close over. Unna create boundaries. You are creating boundaries. Don't sweep things under the carpet. But again, when you're asking your husband about something, use sweet words. Watch your tone of voice. And watch your husband's mood before you start uttering some things to him. My sisters, you need knowledge, wisdom, commitment. You need commitment, knowledge, wisdom to sustain a marriage, to sustain a relationship. You cannot compete with your husband. Your husband is not your competitor. He is your partner. You are the husband. You are your husband's helper. So work together to achieve the common. Now God does not exist where there is conflict. God himself is love. God stays where there is happiness, joy. So if you need God in your family, my brother, my sister, invite God in. And by inviting God is the fear of God, and then you have what? Wisdom. Wisdom subsides everything. Now, never ever compete with your husband. If your husband does something, you go revenge. Revenge is left for weaker people. Strong people forgive and move on. When your husband comes home, how do you welcome him when your husband comes home after a long day at work? How do you welcome him? Akikuja nyumbani anakupata kwa mood gani? Yaani unasikia ni papa fulani anaingia. You are not even moved uko kwa social media. Anaingia, anang'ang'ana na kutoa koti yake, kutoa viatu aweke hapo. Badala ya kumwambia karibu nyumbani my husband, how was your day? Akiingia unaanza kumwambia, unajua mtoto alifukuzwa school fees. Unajua mtoto ameleta list ndio hii. Unaanza kumbadia hii, this is the list of what the baby wants. Yaani hata mwanaume ataingia kwa nyumba, hata akae, hata hakuna hujamwamkua, hata hajaingia kwa nyumba akae, hata atoe nguo, hata bagi yako mchukulie, umeanza kumwadia majukumu. My sisters, when your husband comes home, how do you welcome him? Is there a smile? Do you use nice words to welcome your husband home? Karibu bwanangu, umeshinda aje? At least bwanangu, utaoga ama utakula kitu nikutengenezee kachai, kahawa, nikufurahie tumayai tuwili, ama uoge kwanza ndio ukuje ukule. Unataka kuanza na nini? Hata ukitaka mimi niko hapa available for you my husband. Sasa wewe unaje bwanaka ana struggle kutoa, hata anasoma hizo vitu anabeba, hata koti anatoa, ameisa nguvu, na the guy is been going through tough time during the day. Sasa hata akiingia na struggle peke yake kutoa nguo zake, anang'ang'ana kwa hapo. Huyu mwanaume, that's why you see a lot of men wako kwa bars, wako kwa maba. Mwanaume anatoka kazi anaenda kwa bar, because akiingia kwa bar anakaa kidogo, akistruggle kutoa coat, pa attendant anakuja anamwambia hebu nikutolea, anamtoa hiyo koti, anamsaidia kutoa, anaiweka hapo nyuma ya kiti, ama anamwangia mahali zinahangiwa, anamuuliza unataka bia gani, house warm or cold, room temperature or you want it cold, do you want some ice? Anahudumia huyo mwanaume vizuri. Alafu sasa wale wasadi mwanaume anaanza kucomplain hapo, my wife nikienda nyumbani hapa anioni, hanifanyii hii, ni kelele tu. Then my sister, do you expect that guy not to go back there again tomorrow? Sasa wanaona basi zimejaa wanaume, wanakuja nyumbani wakati bibi amelala, kwa sababu ile reception wanapata nyumbani. So akuja pale bibi yake hata amelala, because hata hakuna kitu anamsaidia, hakuna. So mwanaume ako kwa bar, so mwanaume anapata upendo and a lot of care kwa bar, then anapata nyumbani. Home should be a comfort place for the man. Na kuna wanaume wengine wanatutua vizuri sana, ndio naona mwanaume anamaliza kazi 5 ako nyumbani 5:30. Hizi zingine zimebaki kirele, mwanaume ako kwa bar. How wanaume, majority of them are not there by choice. They are forced by conditions and circumstances. That's why they are there. Wako kwa bar. Wakuje saa 5 saa 6. Wakuje saa 5 saa 6. When the wife is asleep. Bwanaka akikuja, how do you welcome that man home? Yani unaona mpaka anaenda kwa bar. Yani huyo mwanamke akimsafu, huyu waiter wa bar, mpaka anamwangalia makucha, anamwambia na makucha yako ni mrefu, sijawahi iona ikiwa hivyo. Hii makucha unavaa ukate. Ukienda nyumbani leo ukate. Hii makucha imekuwa kubwa, naweza kukuumiza ukivaa tai. Imagine this is a bar attendant. Ameangalia mpaka makucha, which the wife has not even noticed, hata she doesn't care, she's just there. Unataka mwanaume aende wapi anapata amani? Where do you want this guy to go? You prefer to go where? Atarudi kwa bar? What a wait. Wait hata anamtengenezea shati vizuri, anamwambia hii shati yako is very nice. Hii shati anamtengenezea vizuri, mwanaume anakaa vizuri. This guy gets treated better in a bar or in a club than home. So ataenda wapi? Ataenda kwa bar. Then mwanaume akikaa unaanza kucomplain, my husband simuonangi, siku hizi ameolewa na bar, anapenda wasichana wa bar. And wanawake, ladies, I always tell you, serve your man. Wale wasichana wa bar wanaserve mwanaume pombe na wanakaa hapo, wanamuongeleza mambo matamu, akikunywa tu, akiendelea kukunywa kapombe wanamuongeleza vizuri. They are talking. Wewe bwanaka akikuja, maji umepika chakula, alichelewa, chakula iko hapo baridi kwa meza na maji iko hapo, hata you don't get na umerara. But kwa bar wanakaa hata uongelezi bwana yako vile anakuwa. Kaa hapo bwanaka akikula, ongea, endeleeni kuongea na bwana yako. Please continue talking. Na uone vile utachenga your relationship. So huyu mwanaume ataenda kwa bar. Believe me, you my sister, ataenda kwa bar. Because the treatment anapata huko is better than ile anapata wapi? Nyumbani. Ladies, ni sisi tumetuma mabwana zetu kwenda kwa bar. By the way, there are so many men in bars who are drinking because of their wives. Believe me. Do your own research. Na ninaambia wanawake, please submit, be submissive. Be a submissive wife. It's an order from the Almighty God, the initiator of marriage. Submit to your husband's authority. Other kama you are educated more than your husband. Other kama you earn more money than your husband. Go to your husband for advice. Ask your husband for advice. So you discuss. Go to him for instructions and directions. And for guidance. The guy will feel like a king. Hata kama umesoma aje, he is your husband, he is the head. He has authority over you. Ladies, get that, please. The husband is the head, or he has authority over you. Get that through that. And the earlier you get that, the better. Hata kama umesoma, where you are a CEO. I met a lady, he has a degree from Nairobi University. This lady told me, my husband is a standard 8 dropout. Guess what? I listen to my husband. I even go to him for advice. And after he has said all that he's saying, then I find a smart way, using my wisdom, to interject and say, sweetheart, what you've said is true. But what if we do this A, B, C, D? Then they discuss. And the husband agrees. This lady knows exactly what to do, but she cannot do without consulting the husband. That is called submissive. Total submissive to the husband. She even earns more money. But she shares with the husband everything. Na anamheshimu, she respects the husband very much. When the husband speaks, she can't speak. Mwingine mtaniambia hiyo ni kurowa, not in this 21st century, and arrive and you remain single forever. Respect your husband. Mwanaume anataka heshima. Treat your husband as a king. Treat him. Serve your husband. Allow your husband to be in charge of you so that he can be able to take care of you. You cannot take care of something that you are not in charge of. That is not your responsibility. Submit to your husband. When you submit, you become total responsibility to your husband. And he will take care of you. But in hii panganga mingi na ujuaji mingi, now you start saying, my husband, he's not taking care of me. How can you take care of something that is not under you? Something that you have no control over. You can only take care of what is under you. Like how we take care of our children? Because they're under us. So you as a wife submit. Totally. Unconditionally. Then, by being submissive, you become a baby. So the husband will take care of you, will protect you. Your husband will shower blessings and the praises on you. Submit to your husband. Allow your husband to be in charge of you and the entire family. Let him lead you. Acha bwana wako awaongoze. Sio wewe na kimbelembele, wewe ndio unajua yuko tutaenda wapi, tutafanya nini, hii tufanye hii. Hata mwanaume anaona hana kazi hapo. Hana mahali anasikishwa. Seek advice from your husband. Hata kama unachua chenye unafanya, bado you need to consult your husband. What am I trying to say here? Respect your husband and submit to your husband. Your husband has authority over you. So be submissive to your husband. Once we start treating our spouses better than we were yesterday, we will enjoy our relationships. Don't listen to other women, what they say. All men are dogs. Then I wonder who told you to sleep with all men to realize they are dogs. If men are dogs, then you are a bigger dog because you slept with dogs. There's no cow that will sleep with a dog. It's only a dog that can sleep with another dog. Have you ever heard women say, all men are dogs? I don't deny. I don't know. But why did you sleep with all dogs? Why did you sleep with all men? To know that they are all dogs. And one thing I know for sure, there is a mad person in every market. There is also a good person in every tribe, every community, every skin color, every church, every community. In everywhere you go, there are good people and bad people. So you can't conclude and say, these people from this tribe, they're all bad. How bad are they? How did you know? How many have you interacted with? Ladies, let me tell you something. If you want to enjoy, hata Biblia ilisema mwanamke mzuri uchenga familia yake akitumia mikono yake, na mwanamke mbaya ufunja familia yake akitumia mikono yake. What does that mean? You are the cause of your problems and the progress of your family. If you want your family to succeed, ladies, seek the kingdom of God. The fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. Once you got wisdom, commitment, knowledge, understanding, and wisdom, the sky will be the limit to enjoy your marriage or your relationship. But above all, I would like to request you all ladies, hii mambo ni ninyi mnajiletea peke yenu. Kama bwana yako amepotea njia, jiulize alianza lini and why. Na hiyo sio watu unawendi ukiuliza watu. Don't go around asking people. Hiyo ni yako, unafanya uchunguzi yako peke yako pole pole. You find a woman anaenda anasengenya bwana yake na employees, anasengenya bwana wake na co-workers. Yani unaenda tu ni panganga tu. Your husband akona a company. He hires employees. So then you start gossiping your husband with employees. Bwana yangu alikuja saa ngapi hapo? Mchana mlifunga saa ngapi? Alikuwa mlifunga alipita wapi? Alitoka na nani? Nani alikuja kununua hapo? Who was there doing this? Then your husband akichange sasa aone haumheshimu because employees hawatamheshimu. Hakijua then sasa akikutarau ama akikuchukia unaanza kusema ni hao wanako wameenda umepewa madawa umefanya. Hakuna madawa. Hakuna kuroa my sister. Hiyo mambo umejiletea peke yako. You did that to yourself. You brought that upon yourself. So don't blame everyone. Don't blame people. You start, where your husband works. Unaanza kuongea na watu huko, have you seen my husband? Lunch alienda wapi? Alikuwa na nani? Yani unaanza kufanya watu wakuwe watchmen kukulindia bwana yako. Alafu nasikia mwanamke anapiga simu, baba yako ako nyumbani. Alitoka saa ngapi? Alianza saa ngapi? Yani unafanya mpaka watoto wako wanataka kuwa maaskari kwa kukulindia bwana yako. Na unasahau hao watoto huyo ni baba yao. What I'm trying to say here is this. Kila mtu afanye, do your part. The rest else, anything else will sort itself out. But take care of your responsibility. Do your part wholeheartedly, 100% committed, true to the point. Everything else will fall into the right place at the right time. But this thing of mudomo, wanawake, punguzeni midomo. How you talk to your husband, talk to your husband with respect. Treat your husband with utmost respect. Heshimu bwana yako. Hata ikue nini, hata kama amefanya nini. Heshimu bwana yako. Respect your husband. And be submissive to your husband. Then your husband will take care of you. Hakuna kitu unaweza uliza bwana. Na watu wanasemanga, hakuna mkate ngumu mbele ya chai. Hakuna mwanaume mgumu kwa mwanamke. If only you have wisdom, commitment, knowledge, and understanding of what you are doing. Your husband atakufanyia vitu mpaka watu wanakuwa tu wakishangaa, kwani huyu yeye alikuwa anaomba maombi gani? Alikuwa akiomba akiangalia wapi? Wewe ulikuwa unaangalia Mount Kenya, ulikuwa unaangalia Mount Kenya. Wewe ulikuwa unaomba ukiangalia wapi ukapewa mwanaume mzuri hivyo? Hawajui dawa ya ndoa yako. Wewe ndio unajua. Vile una treat bwana yako na atakufanyia vile vile. Everything unafanya mzuri kwa bwana yako ni mbegu unapanda, my sister, na utavuna. You will see it. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for subscribing to my YouTube channel. My YouTube name is Sam Ongolo. Kindly subscribe, share, and like. God bless you. Until next time, bye-bye.